Hi, everybody. A lot of thing went really weird. I'll let you guys know. We're gonna live this together. I didn't save my show file before recalling another show, the show that I was supposed to do on the 8th of July with that console, and my usual live stream setup got totally lost. Or maybe not lost, but not where it was. So right now, I hope you hear background music, because I don't. Usually I hear it, like I'm hearing the same thing as you, so I can mix something for my live stream. So if you give me a second, we're gonna go into console view, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. I got my mic working. Usually that's fine. Most of the time I listen to Master 2 because it's less compressed. I feel better using Master 2 in my in-ears. Well, in my headphone, my ears. And I'm having a playback from the computer. But now on this file, it's not patched. You know, oh, it's patched. It's just not going out. So is it in my computer? And if I put this on, no, it's going back to you. And if I put this on, I'm not doubling on the music. Oh! It somehow feels like home. Troubleshoot 101, guys. Okay, I'm gonna lower the music just a little bit for me. What a rough comeback of vacation. I think this is the hardest thing for me when I go out on vacation. I come back, everything is a mess because I left. I was in a hurry to leave, and being in a hurry to leave, I come back and everything that I left. Like, this place is a mess right now. My bed is back in my bedroom for now, temporarily, because it's got to come back here at some point. Expect my bed to be my background again, but this place is a mess. I'm still renovating. I'm delayed because life is delayed, and I don't have my switching camera scene, so I'm gonna do that quick with you guys. If you never did it, I'm gonna show you. The Wing can be used as a MIDI controller for a lot of things. Right now I'm using OBS to do my live stream, and usually I control OBS with the console. I want two scenes mostly. I think this is one of them. Wow, I feel so not ready. Okay, I got them. Control change. I need to do control change, toggle control change, or push. Let's go push control change. CC1 in my scene is number 2. And I need to do the same thing. Channel 1 is it 3? My scene 1 is talking. So OBS didn't crash. That's a good thing. And I could theoretically switch. Nope. It's not working. Okay. First, let me acknowledge the people who are here. Hello, Rolf. Hello, Darman. Welcome to another live stream where I ask you guys question about the... Oh, no, it's the other way around. Where You guys ask me questions about the wing, and I do my best to answer them. Right now, I'm the one with a little problem. Well, nothing major. I just need to figure that out. Is it this way? No. Maybe I forget something in the MIDI side. Oh, maybe it's in the setup. Is my USB MIDI, everything is here is over USB, so okay, that's fine. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it manually. So welcome, guys. 7 minutes later. Welcome to the live stream. I didn't make myself a coffee even. No coffee today. How was your weekend? How was your 2 weeks, actually? I've been out for 2 weeks. No live stream because I was out camping with... took my big RV out for a ride. You guys can see it in my vlog of... Did I release yesterday? Or, depending on where you live, earlier today. Union Jack mug. Yeah, my girlfriend is a big UK lover. She went there to study for just a while. She went to Europe to study for a couple of months, and yeah, she loved the UK. So I hope it's not. I'm just thinking out loud now. I hope it's not offensive to anybody, please. I don't want to go into the whole political debate here. I just like the fact that it says keep calm and carry on. Just keep calm, just going. This is the kind of information. This is the kind of vibe that I like to have when I'm doing shows. So, what part did she go? I know she visited London, but because if I don't go somewhere, it's hard for me to remember places. Like, I've covered pretty much all the province of Quebec, which is 7 times the size of France, just to give you an idea. I know my place inside out, but the States, I was never really good with the States until I went there, like Florida and Tennessee, and I've been to those places, so now I remember them. But if somebody tell me, oh, I went to the UK, okay, it doesn't ring a bell to me that much because I've never been there. I don't know, this is how I'm made. Sorry. I don't know where she went, but she visited London for sure. And, you know, the classical touristic stuff. The first time that you go to London, the first time that you go to the UK, you want to go to London and see Big Ben and the Windsor Castle, I think, where the Queen of England is living. I think. Not really good. But that's the kind of place she went to. I feel like I'm talking about my life way more than the console. It's okay. I'm good with that. Seriously, I want to get something out of the way first. If you guys watching this live, give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching this video in playback, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not, and ring the bell so you get notification when those live stream goes on. Because most of the time I go on at the beginning and go like blah 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 to build some time to let people come in, and when I try to leave, everybody's just jumping on me with questions. So come early and you'll get your question answered right away. Like Darmin just is about to write. One question before that, mate. What's your question? I'm all yours. You have the air. Write me something, write me a question, and I'll do my best to answer it. And while you're doing that, I can probably try to figure out what's wrong with my MIDI stuff. Or I can just reprogram it quickly. Is it a note? I'm gonna try this with a note. Nope, nothing. Okay. Question from Darman. Using an X32, any reason why you switch between Wing and X32? Is it due to you having set up for old band, or is from Factor? Is this from Factor? Okay. Two main reasons. The blog that I just released on August. I'm not ready to be in August yet, please. The blog that I've released earlier today, I'm mixing on an X32 that is locally provided by the person who's hiring the band. So on my riders, I ask, if I'm not bringing a console, I ask for a Wing, a X32, M32, a Pro 2, basically the console that I know. So Yamaha stuff, CL, QL, 3.5, whatever. If anybody ever want to give me a PM7 Rivage console, I'll take it. But most of the time, I'm requesting my console to be provided by the venue. If, like on some band, like the next vlog that I'm gonna do is with Simon Morin, I bring my own stuff because he rent his gear from me. When somebody hired the band, I come in the deal with my console, my cabling, my microphone, in-ear monitor. All you have to provide me is a PA and lights. Some other band don't like to work this way, so we go the other way around. We're the local venue, or actually we take what's there. And almost everybody has an X32 now because they are really popular and everybody has them. So I request locally for these gig X32, or if it's the guy want to give me an analog console, which I would pretty much refuse nowadays. Let's say Etienne Drapeau, the guy I did a vlog on July 23rd, he has an Yamaha LS9. He has two of them. He has the 16 and the 32. So if I'm not happy with the console that the venue provide us, we just bring the LS9 on the gig, and that's it. My show file is in there. Same for Simon. When I'm bring the Wing, my show file is in there. Just load my show and go. I try to be that way as much as possible. We just bring our own stuff most of the time. It makes it easier. You know, this is why I always bring my drum mics, my DI when I have to. But yeah, basically this is it. Question from Colin Lynn. What's up? I think it's the first time I see you here. Welcome. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. How do you decide whether to use the standard EQ gate versus the modeled plugin? It's just a matter of how I feel and how I want to react. When I'm mixing, I'm always thinking about the overall result or the final result, what I want to achieve. Let's say I'm gonna load something here. Sorry. Gotta go in console view. Home. For my bass drum, wow. This is not what I was expecting to see on that channel, but sorry. I'm gonna try to show you maybe with something else. I don't know. Okay, snare. No, bass drum. Bass drum is the input that I use the most. I could use another gate because I think I remember I like this one better in the Wing, but I choose stuff depending on what I want to achieve, depending on how something is sounding. Gonna turn off the music. I'm gonna load my show here, my ambient music. Do I hear it? I don't hear it. You guys need to give me a sec. Sorry, man. I just feel my show file didn't recall as it should, so if you give me a sec here, I'm just gonna reprogram myself, my main 2, so that I can hear what's happening. Okay, now I hear the same thing as you guys do. Maybe not my effects, but it doesn't matter. Effect doesn't matter. Okay. So Wave Designer is not something that I really use on my bass drum. I'm more of a 160 guy because I did some trial and error trying out stuff on the bass drum. Actually, I have 20 hours of stream where I go every single input of that virtual sound check, where I just try everything on every input. It's a long stream. It goes in and out, but if you want to spend some time and look at it, take a look. But basically, to get back to your question, when to use the standard versus the plugin is really a matter of what do I want to achieve. If I want something really clean, like most of the time I'm going to use the gate expander, the basic one from the Wing, it's fine. I like the preset that I have there to begin with. I feel the release to be a little longer than it should, or at least on the X32, because I don't know if this is... Hold on. This is default. Okay, the default setting, maybe they changed it, but the default setting to me is fine. 3:1 ratio expander. This is defaulting as an expander, not a gate. I'm gonna turn this to be a gate. And why don't I don't... Okay. I'm just gonna lower everything, and we're gonna listen to the bass drum. So, I like the gate. The basic settings are usually a good starting point. Range 40 dB. Could go to 60. Attack. Maybe attack is a little on the long side, but it would work. I use that. That's the default. I like it. If I'm not happy with that, then I'm gonna change. I'm gonna try something like the Soul Compressor. This is another option. It has another color. So depending on the color that I want for the result, you know. Same thing for the 160. If I don't like the way the compressor is reacting, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna use maybe the Wing compressor. It's a bit softer, maybe the attack is longer, or maybe not. Or let's say you're not happy with that, go with the ethereal. I could use this one maybe for another reason. Actually, this is a really good example. This one has a special feature that the other compressor in the Wing don't have. This one has a maximum of gain reduction. So let's say if I go crazy, I'm just crushing it, you know. The compressor are just going so many dB of reduction. But let's say that I want to keep my bass drum under control all the time. I'm gonna adjust this to have a maximum of 3 dB of compression, and I'm gonna turn that on. So no matter where my threshold is, it will try to compress it really hard. But this one has the option to limit the gain reduction, so it's not gonna go more than 3 dB down. I could say 6 dB, 9. You start to feel it at 9. Well, actually, you can hear it before that, but you really start to feel it around 9 dB, and I could go all the way. So, depending on the result that I want to have, this is where I would change. This is where I would change the compressor or the plugin that I'm using. Yeah, that bass drum need a little bit of makeup gain. And we gotta keep going with that in the background. Really interesting question, man. Thank you very much for asking that. From Darman, so if the wing, to continue on your first question, sorry. So if the wing or if there's a wing or X32 there, you just take your USB with your band setup and put on their hardware. Yes, this is exactly what I do. This is the magic of having digital console, is you can just bring your USB key, bring this on the gig, and all your stuff is already done. You don't have any knobs to tweak, or way less knob or way less tweaking than you usually do. So this is the idea of all the digital console, is you can recall show. I remember when I was, hold on. I remember when I was a little sound engineer back in the early 2000s, we had to take note of analog console and do manual recall for board in between bands. And it was honestly a nightmare, because as precise as your note could have been, it's never going to be the same. The gain, your monitor sound, your EQ, it's never going to be the same, ever. If you do a couple band in and out. So yeah, so the fact that you can recall hardware, kind of like hardware, is the best invention in the world, because I can just bring a USB key. I'm going to take the word of Big Mick, who's the sound engineer for Metallica. He's bringing his own XL8. He's mixing on XL8, and he's probably going to switch to the HD96 for the next tour. Who knows? But this is my guess. His band, his old thing, is on a USB stick. So if the console don't make it to the gig, if something happened, he can just take this, load it into the show file, load the show file into the console, and he's 95% there. This is what I've done too. Most of the time when I just load my show on a new X32, if I have the same musician, the same mic, the same in-ear, the same everything, the only difference is the PA and the room that we're playing into, I'm 95% there. It's a matter of tweaking just a little bit, and we're there. Question from, I'm gonna say Maze. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name right. I'm not sure how to pronounce the A with the accent on it. So, hi, how can I block feedback when a mic is too... I'm not sure to understand your question, but I will try. When a mic is too loud for XP in front of us, I'm not really sure to understand. But about feedback, I would say you have two options to help you reduce feedback. You cannot block feedback. Feedback is a natural reaction of a microphone picking up what's coming out of a speaker. To reduce feedback, or to reduce feedback, because you cannot avoid it. It will happen at some point on every microphone. You can either cut down on your main EQ the frequency that's feeding back, or I say on your main EQ, could be on the microphone. Let's say if this microphone is really bright, maybe I want to turn down on the microphone channel the brightness, or the low end, or one frequencies. Let's say, I'm gonna exaggerate thing here, but let's say to have a microphone that really sounds like this. You know, it's really heavy in the mid range. It's really heavy in the 1K5 stuff. So you want to take that frequency out and make the microphone sound more natural. It will also cut down on the feedback, because feedback is happening because one or many frequencies are sent into the speaker and come back. But if it's only one frequencies, you can turn it down and it will just correct the microphone. The other option is reduce the gain, because I really need to do an episode or a video on that. Gain and level is two different things. Gain is microphone sensibility. The more gain you have in a microphone, the more you will increase the sensibility of the capsule itself. So it will pick up more stuff around the microphone. So let's say, I'll give you an example. If I turn my microphone and I go totally out sideways, the pickup pattern of the microphone is right there, but I'm speaking there. If I crank the gain, I will do it. If I crank the gain like a lot, you're still hearing me fine. I'm still giving you guys a good level. I just gave this microphone 15 dB of gain. Hold on. Instead of minus 30, well, plus 30 on the wing, I can run this at 45 and you're going to hear me. But I'm picking up so much other stuff around me. And also, on this microphone, I'm running a noise gate to cut down on the background noise. So, the more gain that you'll introduce into the microphone or in the system, the more you will pick up stuff around you. So, your option to cut down on feedback is probably first to reduce the gain. You want to have... Right now, I'm running this microphone a little bit hot because I'm going to a live stream and there is no way it can feedback because I don't have any live speaker around me. The sound only goes into my ear. So I can be pretty much as loud as I want into the microphone as long as I don't have any distortion. I would suggest you to take a look at your gain structure to avoid feedback first. So make your singer average level to be around minus 18 dB and make sure it doesn't clip. It doesn't go in the red. Start with your fader all the way down. Try to have the guy sing or the girl sing into the microphone. Get a good level there. You want his average to be minus 18 and you want to make sure it will never go in the red. If the singer is really dynamic, what I mean is if they sing really quietly and they go really loud, you want to make sure that the loud part don't go in the red. But you want the average to be around minus 18, like close to what I got here. Actually, the gain on this microphone is a little down. I can go probably something to like 35 for me. And my average is reaching almost the orange light. Hey. I'm getting more level out of it because I'm using the compressor to give more juice and keeping it more level because the compressor is there to ride the level. But that's another topic. Okay, don't go into a compressor. Just start with that. Take your compressor off, get a good gain structure, then apply compressor if you want to, but you don't want... You can see right now, I'm not... Hey, only when I'm... Hey, going loud that the compressor is kicking in. Actually, I could have it a little bit louder. Here we go. Hey, that way my average level is it's just touching it. And after that, raise your fader in the front of house. I believe if your PA is EQ'd correctly, that means that you don't have any frequencies that come out of your speaker. Let's say if your PA sound like this with no EQ on it, you have too much mid-range or high frequencies or low end into your PA. So try to have that under control too. Put a song that you like and you know it sound good into the PA and listen for frequencies that will spike out of the spectrum, like it's really hard to describe. It's a matter of listening for stuff, and you go like, oh, it's way too bright, so bring it down just a little bit in the PA. And if you got your PA or your speakers, your main out to be good sounding and flat and no frequency that will spike out, it will probably not feed back because all the frequencies will be at the same level. No one frequency will pop out. Oh, you said with a limiter on the main PA? No. Live, if you are doing live stuff, try to avoid limiter as much as you can. You don't want limiter on anything. Well, limiter is there to correct a problem. Let's say that somebody is way too dynamic, is not it's too quiet, then goes way too loud. Maybe you want to fix, well, you want to try to fix the source first. You want to try to have the player or the person singing to be at the same level. Most of the time you don't have control over that because singer do whatever they want, or player or keyboard player do whatever they want, and they will send you too much or not enough. And the more you work with pro guys, the more they are aware of that. But yeah, I'm going way too far now. To avoid feedback, try to have everything frequency-wise without any frequency spiking, and try to have your gain at the right level. Right level is not a dB meter. It's not a number on a dB meter. It's an average of, you want, yeah, I'm going to say minus 18 average with your vocal, and you want to make sure it doesn't peak. And after that, you should have enough juice with that to crank it into the house, crank it into the monitor, not feeding back. It should be fine with that. Trial and error and learning is how you will get there. It's not a science. This is what I tried to explain to a lot of people. Doing sound live or in the studio is not number. It's not like doing lights. Like right now, I got my light over me, and I can set this light to a level and set the color of that light to be I look orange on the camera, but it's a matter of Kelvin degrees. But I can set it to a certain Kelvin degrees, and it will always be the same. When it comes to sound, you have a lot more stuff into play, like the room that you're in, the performer, then the performance, the microphone. It has way more variable thing, and it's not something that you can put your finger on. You cannot say, yes, like my light, yes, it's on, yes, it's at that level and that color. It doesn't recall like that for sound. Another question here from Colin. I just want to let you know, guys, it came in way faster than I'm going to go out and read it, but just so you know, I don't have any lag. Have you used the Midas Submonster or the Psycho Bass? Haven't seen much info on those. Yeah, I did try them during the try everything on every input. Maybe I still have one in the effect rack. No, I don't, but I can show you. We can take a look at that for sure. This is something that I like. Actually, do I have one? Yeah, I have one on the bass drum. I'm going to take a listen to that. I'm going to turn down everything, or most of the thing in the mix. So this is the Midas Submonster. It's working really good. It's exciting, the harmonic in the lower range. I'm going to put it to 100%. Hey, Ivan. So I'm gonna make your sub work. If anybody have subwoofer at home, I'm sorry. It's gonna get loud. I'm cranking a lot of 40 hertz right now. My headphone, actually I hear my headphone vibrating more than I hear sound because it's really low. But the monster sub, yes, it's basically frequencies. I'm gonna have 26 and 100. This will... You can destroy subwoofer with that. It's so powerful. The amount of low energy that you can add to a source with that. I'm gonna go crazy mode here. I don't know how well can you guys hear that, but here in the console, I have low end, like crazy amount of low end. And I'm gonna play around with the tune. Basically, the tune is changing the frequencies of the band that you have available. So if I put it to 67, I have 30, 45, 67. It's the mid frequencies basically that you change. And if we go down, like crazy down, you can add stuff in the 20 hertz region. Right now I'm sending, well, I don't even know if I can send 30 hertz over the internet. Dave Rat has a video about that. I need to check that out. Oh, Darman, you have you have a surround system? Yeah. A lot of low end. Actually, you're the one that I need to ask. Can you still hear some 30 hertz and 45 hertz going? All I hear is 45. My headphone do not reproduce stuff under 45. It's loud. Just want to check that. Yeah, my limiter is going. It feels like, you know, when your ears are shut and you feel your heart beating. That's how I feel it. The M sub, the Midas sub monster. Yeah, the name is good. It's a sub monster. You can basically whip 40 hertz into anything with that. I also have another. Sounds like it rolled off on my Panda headphone. Okay. But basically, it's good to be used live with subwoofer. You can send the maximum that the subwoofer could deliver with that. You can make the whole place shake. And something else that I wanted to try was a Psycho bass. I never tried this one on a bass drum, I think. We're gonna try. We're gonna lower it. I'm gonna crank it. X over frequency 60 hertz. That's good. Okay, we can solo it. So this is what we're adding. And if I put intensity to 0, that's just my bass drum. Yeah, it's doing it. It's an option, but I have another trick when it comes to bass drum. Not bass, but bass drum. I'm gonna try this also on bass, just for fun. I have a really good bass player here. Now he's going into a limiter. I don't need to limit that guy. Now, do I have two going? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna take this one out, so because they will probably work at the same frequency, so if we want to hear them separately, we need to take one out. I'm gonna put the frequencies crossover way higher, around 160. Oh, that's on the bass drum. This is the one that I want. Take it off, and there we go. I'm gonna crank it like crazy. Okay, 160. 160 is really EQing 160 and up. And we can go down. Yeah, my headphone cutting around 45, so I'm gonna try it at 45, and I can really feel the extra range and frequencies that we had to the bass. I'm gonna listen only to the bass. You're really feeling it when it kicks in. Okay, thank you, Darman, for pointing that out. The stereo piss. Thank you for watching, man. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the people watching these. I'm having fun right now. You guys throw me stuff and make me think differently, because you ask me stuff and it made me think, and you ask me stuff that I never think or never try to do, and I'm just gonna try it, and I keep whatever I like out of this. Let's say that for fun, I'm gonna like the psycho bass, I'm gonna enjoy it so much that I want to put it on everything. You just change the way that I mix. You just change my approach to mixing my bend. Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, the teacher learned from teaching. Yeah, right. I don't know everything. I like to have the approach. I like to be open-minded and not... I'm going to try everything. If anybody... Well, we're speaking about sound here, guys. I'm willing to try everything. And if it makes sense, if I believe it's a better way to do things, it's a better option for me, I'm just gonna go on with it. I'm learning. I want to learn. I want to learn this console more than I already do. And you guys give me new stuff to try, and I like that. Thank you. Oh, Chris White. Hi, Chris. Sorry. Chat is busy today. More than usual, so... Now you oh, Ivan, you watched the live stream on Gig. Put me in the PA. I'll be your background music. I could do this, and you can just... maybe I can turn that off. I could be your background music if you want to, if you're on a gig. It's yeah, for those of you guys, it's around 9 in Europe, so some of you are on gigs. Nice. What else did I miss in the chat? Okay, so far nothing. So, okay, I need to turn that song off because I heard it so much. I heard it so much during the 20-something hour of live stream that I did every single input, everything. Man. I listened to that loop because it's a 2-minute loop that just loop for an hour. I listened to this around 20 hour. My brain is like fed up with it. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? I'm gonna ask this. Not that I want to leave the live stream, but I just don't want to bore anybody. You know, if we got nothing to talk about, I'm just gonna turn it off. But Darman ask a question here. Out of interest, have you ever had a bass guy use bass and pug at the same time? Going to bass and bass amp at the same time? And would that change how you mix? Or usually no. I get what you want to achieve there is to have lower range. Usually no, because when I'm mixing with subwoofer, most of the time from the bass itself, I have enough low end. I don't need to have anything else lower than that, lower in the range, because after I did some experiment, most people cannot hear definition under like 60 hertz or 80 hertz. It's too much of a blur for people. So I tried to keep the notes of the bass in the hearable range, but for the feel, I'll just let whatever the bassist is giving me, I just let it go through sometimes. But most of the time, I'm still running a low cut around, 60 hertz. Right now, everything is flat, but if I just put on the low cut, it will probably have, yeah. I have on my bass a low cut at 56. And usually I don't want anything lower than that from the bass itself. For an effect, if somebody wants to send me a pog or a distortion pedal, actually I've done that with a distortion pedal. I did a split. The guy, basically I've put a DI in between the distortion pedal and the output of his bass. So in this, I took really out of the pedal board 2 cable, plug a DI, so I loop it back into the distortion pedal, but I had a clean line and I had an overdrive line. I have mixed those together. So when the distortion pedal was off, I was having the full range, the full spectrum of the clean signal and the clean but can be distorted signal. But with his distortion pedal, I was losing so much low end and I wanted to kept it. So what I did is I put a high cut on the DI signal. So nothing over 100 or so or 80 was... I didn't use anything over 100 or 80, and on the ready to be distorted signal, I put a low cut on it around at the same time. So I was having a low end track and a clean but can be distorted track. So when the player was playing clean, everything was fine. It was like having one track. And when he wanted distortion, we were only using the high end of the distortion and I was keeping all the low end. So it sounded massive because I was not losing any low end in the distortion pedal. So it's an option. Plug the guitar amp. So signal from bass going from bass to bass amp, and then the pug going to guitar amp. Oh, okay. You mean like how's that band called? The Royal Blood, or many other 2-player guy. When there's a drummer and a guy who play guitar and bass, and sometimes I've seen it. I've not really done it other than for fun myself, because I play guitar and bass just for fun. Yeah, like Royal Blood. Okay. I never did it, but I would treat that as a single instrument as much as possible. I never did it, but I could do it from the console if I really want to, or if the player do it on stage. Well, that's just the tone, and that's just how I should roll with it. Honestly, if I were ever to do that, I would mix it like it was two different instruments, because I believe it's the point. Let's say we're talking about a Royal Blood style band. I think the bass is just there to be bass, and the guitar amp is just there to fill the guitar space. So I would mix it like if it was two different players. That would be my approach to it. The Stereopist, hey man, you helped me fall in love with the wing. Okay, good. Tell that to Behringer. Tell that to Behringer, however you want to say it. I think it's Behringer. Tell it to Behringer so they can send me a t-shirt or something. If you buy one, tell it to Behringer so they send me a t-shirt. That will be my commission for selling a wing. Because some of you probably don't know, I'm not affiliated with Behringer at all. They're not paying me to do this. I'm not getting any money to do this, other than maybe one day my YouTube channel will be monetized and I will make money from YouTube like any other YouTuber. But I'm just doing this for fun. I spend $1,000 on equipment and recording gear and a console, and I'm not making any money out of it, just for fun. Okay, what else did I miss in the chat? Hi, man. Hey, Herman. Nice to see you, man. Welcome. Royal Blood using a Marshall. Okay. From Ivan, now working with a smaller mixer, the N32? You mean M32R? M32R and DL32? Yeah, it's one of my favorite combination from Behringer or Midas in the Behringer family. I really like the M32R. I used to own one before I owned a wing. I'm just kidding, Ivan. Don't worry about the typo. Yeah, M32R was really fun to have. One of my favorite console to do front of house with. Small footprint. I like the fact that you could have any layer in front of you all the time. Really, really fun. Really, really fun to work with. And the processing inside of it is more than fine. X32 like, M32, really like them. And the DL32, I could be, it could be in my brain, but I feel like the DL32 doesn't sound as good as the 251 or the S series. It could be totally in my head. It could be totally to justify the $5,000 that I pay for my DL251. But I believe it sounds better. I actually need to do a real pink noise null test of preamp to try that. But as we speak, I don't have a S16 or an X32 or the Midas equivalent of a DL, whatever. I only have a DL251. And the wing preamp is the same as a 251. So, need to check that out. Just the same, I read today that Behringer bought land to create factory in Malaysia. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Maybe they will produce more keyboards. Because I think they tried to hit the keyboard market like they did the guitar market a couple of years ago. I think they really have what it takes to build keyboard now. So they just try to take over that market pretty much as they did with the X32. A friend, actually the keyboard player on Simon Morin's band, my friend Gabriel, liked the Behringer keyboard stuff. So yeah, Behringer and keyboard. It's funny how wide and good Behringer have become, and I'm not afraid to say that. A couple of years ago, they had some questionable quality stuff. Now they are an industry leader. The Wing, because of the pandemic and stuff, the Wing probably will never shine as it should have in the last 2 years. But this thing is an X32 replacement. As soon as the X32 will start to die, people will go on the Wing. I guarantee. Behringer have, with the X32, they just destroy everything. They disrupt the market a lot. And I think the Wing will one day too. We'll need more time. Show will need to get back, but yeah, they are really good. And if they build a new factory, that means the business is good and they want to build more stuff. From Herman, this weekend I use again the Soundcraft, the U24R for a small gig. Missed the Wing so much. Yeah, I get where it came from with that. It's probably feature wise, I'm gonna guess, Herman. It's the Wing has so many feature. It's crazy. 45 acre of land that they bought. Okay. It's not small. From Ivan, today you're mixing 8 vocal on the piano. Oh, it's a choir. Basically, it's like a choir. And they bought that in 2019? Okay. Hold on. Everything can happen. Because the pandemic changed so much thing in the industry. We need to wait. And see. Actually, everybody is waiting. Every company just go like, okay, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, but this is the feeling that I get from most companies. I'm gonna say Maze again. Maze, about feedback. Isn't there a way or a tool to block the frequencies, which is giving feedback automatically like the autorider? There are some anti-feedback units, but they're not working. None of them is working great. It will work, but honestly, your ears and a 31 band EQ will do a better job, because actually, I'm going to show you something. If you want to cut feedback manually, like if you want to cut feedback on a microphone, take some time and try this approach. I'm going to select my microphone. Hold on. Let's go in the console view. I'm going to select my microphone here. And okay, I got an insert point. I'm gonna try to insert a 31 band EQ. So I'm using a graphical EQ. You can see, you can cut feedback basically with a 31 band EQ. This is basically the purpose why those EQ were built. So with a 31 band EQ, when you have feedback, it will reproduce in the RTA in the bottom, something like this. That's about 3K5. So I can grab 3K5, or you can go with your finger if you have the Wing. Go like, and that will reduce the feedback by a lot. And what those automation box feedback reducer, what they do is basically when you have a feedback, they will slowly turn it down until it stops. But the thing is, if you are having too much feedback, you're gonna end up with something like this. You know, if it goes in the low end too, like that, and you're gonna end up with a mic that sounds like really bad. You know, can you hear the phasing in the microphone? I'm gonna, just for fun, I'm gonna take the EQ out, and I'm gonna take the EQ back in again. Feedback automation machine will kind of act like that. Maybe 15 dB is a lot, but this is what they are basically doing. What you want to do is be careful and try to put a 31 band EQ on your microphone or on your PA if the problem is coming from your PA, but I'm gonna guess it's probably from your microphone because everything else is fine. So try a 31 band EQ and try to cut as less as possible frequencies and not get feedback. 31 band EQ would be the way to go if you want to taking care of that problem. If, like I said, if the gain thing didn't change and EQing your PA or monitor didn't cut that. 31 band EQ is the next step in the line. Try to avoid everything that is automated, because it would just blindly cut everything and you will end up with something like sound like crap. And yeah, it's not gonna feedback, but you will have a bad time mixing that. Sorry, I've tried to catch up with the chat. From Herman, actually the founder really started building synthesizers. Yeah, I know that, but I don't think they were really pushing it until like a couple of years ago. It's supposed to be a fully automated factory completed by 2022. Okay, well, good. That mean not a lot of job for people in Malaysia, but that's lower price for us, or more. We will have more for our money the more the planet's going that way. From Maze, usually have no feedback, but in a rare case, someone is holding a mic into the monitor and feedbacks come. Okay. I have another trick for you. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. For that, not single frequencies feeding back all the time, like, you know, when it's just too present. You can use an expander if somebody is like bowing and throwing his microphone into the monitor. And I'm going to show it to you because I'm using it right now. Can you hear the background noise on my microphone? I have, you know, let's do some ASMR stuff. I have a lot of background noise because of the fan of my computer and stuff like that. So what I'm putting on my microphone to avoid that is an expander. You can see here, you have a visual representation of the amount of dB that are getting cut by the expander. I let it go until it reached 60 dB. And you can see when I'm not talking into the microphone, it's just shutting it down. I try to breathe next to the microphone and it's not loud enough so my expander doesn't open. This is my secret with floor monitor and people who putting microphone like down in the speaker. I put an expander on the microphone just so when they're not singing, the microphone is automatically turned down. You can use 4:1 ratio if you want a deeper cut. Or you can raise the threshold But be careful with that, because if you're raising the threshold too much, you're gonna end up with like something that cuts all the time. And you want to avoid using a gate, because a gate will cut down like this. And you don't want your signal to be cut down. You want your signal just to fade out. Attack, hold, and release are your friend here, because with attack at 0, as soon as you speak into the mic, it will open. Hold is the amount of time it will keep it open, and release is the amount of time it will take to fade out your microphone. I guarantee you, if you're having problem with people who put their microphone into the monitor, this is one of the best solution available. If you set it right, nobody will ever notice, even you. Like right now, you cannot really notice that my expander is cutting the signal. It doesn't, to me, with the background music, I don't hear it at all. That's the way to go if you want to avoid that. Set your threshold right, because if you didn't, it will cut down on you. But if you got that right, that will do the tricks for people cupping the mic and with their hand and dropping it into the monitor, basically the microphone. It's the same thing as if you were turning down the volume all the time. Expander, not gate, expander. What else we have? Sorry. Or another option on the wing is the source extractor. I like this one a lot. It's a little bit smoother. It sounds more close and FM radio like. This is what I usually have on my vocal. Lowering the threshold just a little bit. There you go. Okay. What's next in the chat? I tried to catch up. Sorry. The Stereopist. I've used a Behringer MX 9000 for 17 years. Is that the digital console that the MX 9000? You get one of the good one. I'm gonna guess, yeah, it's one of those digital console. I don't know them that much, but I heard a lot of power supply problems. So if you're survived for 17 years, you definitely have a good one. Get it recap. Go to an electronic tech. Get your power supply recap, and it's probably gonna be good for another 20 years. If you like the interface, I think, if I remember correctly, those interfaces were awful, and you didn't have a lot of processing. So do whatever you want. They're going not on legacy Roland stuff, okay, at the moment in the old drum machine. So, okay, I didn't know Behringer was getting into the Roland territory. It's probably one of the big players that you don't want to fight too much with. We'll see how this story ends. Any news on firmware update for the wing? Edwin, hi. Didn't notice that you were here, man. Good to see you. So far, nothing. Is there anything that you feel need an update? Let me know. Herman, I have a feedback destroyer, the Behringer DEQ 2496. Yeah. But those units, to me, they just makes your EQ sound really bad. It's not just an EQ, it's more like a dynamic EQ. It will only EQ the sound that Ben gets too loud. Okay, I got a good one for you. I remember asking this in school. Hold on. I remember asking this one in school to my sound teacher, who's a professional. He was not just a teacher. He still toured with major artist. I asked him about those digital processing, and he asked me one thing. What if the guitar player with his amp on purpose start feedback? Your vocal microphone will hear that. If you are using one of those feedback destroyer on your mic, your vocal microphone will hear that, and it will turn down that frequencies because it's not stopping feeding back, and it never will, and it will turn down 25 dB on like a single note, a single frequencies, and your vocal is gonna sound like crap until you reset that, because I know after a certain amount of time it just tried to set that frequency back up, but until that time period is over, your vocal is gonna sound like crap. So this is why I say no. Don't use those. From Chris White, a couple days ago, as I was mixing on Ashley Digimix, really weird digital really weird digital mixer. I never heard of those. I remember the Ashley 31 band EQ, where you had back in the analog day a screen with 4 selection of 31 band EQ. So basically in a 2 rack space or 1 rack space, you had 4 stereo 31 band EQ. At the time, it was revolutionary, but it took like a good amount of time to fix frequencies on these, because it was not fader like a 31 band EQ, or I think it was not fader like this. You had arrow up or down on. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna show you. It was not like something like this where you could just select an EQ and turn it down. You had arrow on top and on the bottom, and you were like touching it like 0.5 dB at the time every time, and it was slowly going back. So if you had a feedback going quick, it was not as easy as grabbing something and turn it down. It was a long process. Chris, we use your DFR. Again, feedback. They work pretty. I've never heard of those. And the sounds stay musical. Okay, yeah. I heard of some of them years ago, but no, not. It's been at least 10 years, if it's not more than that, since I saw one of these like feedback destroyer thing. Where the shop that I used to work or still work, I don't know. Time will tell. We had a couple of those in the rack for sale, and I think they are still in the basement somewhere. So maybe I can take a look at them. But as far as I know, it was a DBX stuff, and it was not good. It was like, it's good if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not a sound engineer, it will get you out of the problem zone, but that's it. For Headman Guillaume, do you usually ring out the PA with a graphic 31 EQ before sound check? No, I actually use a parametric EQ, like the one that you will have. Sorry, I'm using a parametric EQ like the one that you will have on every output and main out of pretty much every console nowadays, because they tend to give you less phasing issue. Because what I showed with the 31 band EQ, when you try to apply it like this, the way that these EQ work, they play around with the phasing. So hold on, I need to reset that. They play around with the phasing. So let's say that you need to cut like something. Okay, I'll go in the mid range. It's easier for everybody to hear, especially if you're listening to this on your phone. Right now I'm boosting 1.5, And if I turn it down, I turn down that frequency. But as soon as you try to do like more than one frequency at a time with these, you're going to create some phasing. Like right now, I don't know how well it's translating to YouTube, but in my hearing my vocal in my headphone with no latency through this, I feel like it's out of phase in the mid-range. So, and there's no reset button on these things, right? I can change the type of curve for a true curve, and I feel, is it worse? I don't know. Hey. I know it's changing the Q and everything, but yeah, I try to avoid 31 band EQ as much as possible. 31 band EQ are just good to fix one. They are really good to fix one frequency problem. Great tip with the expander. Thank you, man. This is why I'm here. I like to share my stuff. I got a couple of videos coming. I know I keep saying that, but man, I need to kick my butt and do videos. The MX9000 is a Mackie clone. One of their bigger analog. Okay, so it's not the digital one. Sorry. It would be interesting to learn how to EQ a PA. Do you use any measurement mic or go by here? I own the Bayer Dynamic. I think I got it here. No, sorry, it went in the other drawer. I own a measurement mic from Bayer Dynamic. Really cool tool if you have the time and the time period to use it. So what I mean is if you have a certain amount of time in a day where you can send pink noise into a room, loud pink noise into a room, and you don't kill anybody basically because it's the most annoying sound ever. You know, everybody know what I'm talking about when I say pink noise. You know that. It's basically, for those of you who don't know, a pink noise is all the frequencies playing at the same time together at the same level. I love Bayer mic so much. Yes, I love Bayer mic because they like me too. Seriously, no, it's just because I'm not afraid to say it. Simon Morin, my main artist, the guy that I've been working for the last 10 years, he's got a deal with Bayer Dynamics. So I got a deal price-wise with Bayer. I get them for a good price. And they send me out loaner stuff like the TGI 50 that I got in my case, and yeah, this is why I'm having so many Bayer mic. And honestly, they're building really good quality stuff. They're not the cheapest, far from being the cheapest, but they don't make anything bad or that I know of. The MC right now, what I'm using is an MC840 from Bayer. It's a $2,000 studio mic, and this thing can compete with any U87 any day. Yeah, you're an AKG fan for the same reason, Herman. Yeah, well, AKG makes some good mic too. Not my first choice, because I'll be honest, totally honest here, because I will point it out. I got a good deal on Bayer mic, but I'm not sponsored with them or anyway. I didn't sign anything other than helping out an artist, a friend with his stuff. Sorry. Other than just helping out my friend Simon with his stuff, I didn't sign anything. But what I was about to say is, if you give me the option to pick any mic, most of them will be Bayer. Probably not all of them, but most of them would be Bayer stuff. This MC840 could be a U87 on a record if I have the option. I don't own any Neumann U87, Newman, whatever. But it could be an option. It competes there quality-wise. It's just a matter of taste at some point. Same thing for Shure. I like Shure microphone. Sometimes they are really cool mic, but you know, it's a matter of per case scenario. And just to end up with Bayer, why I'm using Bayer on everything is because we have the option. Bayer as option in his lineup. Let's say for vocal mic, they have many vocal mic. They have the V70, the V50, V70, the V56, which is one of my favorite vocal mic of all the time. Seriously, I love that mic. They have options, so I can pick the right option for everybody in my band or my bands where I provide microphone. Why would I look anywhere else? If I have good option of good quality, good build material, man, that company is, and Behringer is listening. And Bayer is listening too. If you have opinions on them, you can send them an email and they will probably listen. This is a really small company. It's crazy how small company like Bayer or Behringer are. You expect them to be, well, they are a multi-million dollar money-making machine, but Behringer is a little bigger now. But I'm gonna say for Bayer, it's not that big of a company, and they only make good product because they believe in, I think, a smaller, more quality product than just, spitting out microphone. And so far, history have proven that Bayer don't make any bad stuff, or they don't keep on going with them. If a mic has a problem, they fix it, and they change the number, so it's a new mic, it's a new product. I had some issues. Yeah, I can say this. I had some issue with the clip of the D50 small microphone, and they've totally fixed that with the i51. The clip doesn't break anymore. It's metal. It's great. I send them some feedback, and they've listened. What else can I ask for as an engineer? And their mic sounds really good. The i51 sound really good. I like that mic. Same thing with the D70D, the microphone plate. I used to ask for Beta 51, Beta 91, and Beta 52. Now I'm just using the D70D from Bayer. Really happy with that. Okay, I totally drift away from the question from Herman about EQing a PA. What I'm doing most of the time is playing a song that I know, and I don't try to make it sound good. I try to listen for frequencies that go out of range or are amplified by the room or by the PA, and I just try to fix that. It's in my car stereo, it's a different story, but in a PA, I just try to cut down the frequency that spike out of the range of the music that I know. Let's say that I'm putting on a CD and it sounds like this. So, okay, I got too much mid. What I'm doing, I'm grabbing a parametric EQ and I set the amount of dB and the width of that curve and I turn it down. And I listen. And I try not to spend too much time on the PA because after a while your ear are getting used to it, how it sounds. So sorry, I'm reading question. I try to go fast, like within a song to EQ the PA. And after that, I just hear with the band, because a recorded song and a live band doesn't have the same dynamic, doesn't have the same tone. I try to EQ as much. Well, I just fix the first few problem right away, and then I listen with the band. And most of the time, if I have to tweak something, I will tweak on the channel itself, on the channel strip. If I need more low end for my bass drum, I will crank the low end on the strip, because I don't want everything to be amplified in the low end. I just want my bass drum to be more bass heavy. It's really a case per case scenario, but yeah, for PA, one pass of one song, get the really obvious problem right away. After that, I see with my band, and I try to make it as good as I can. I need to do that on a vlog probably someday. How I EQ a PA. From Colin. Pink noise is equal energy per octave. White is equal energy per frequencies. Pink is used because it match. Pink is used because it match better how we hear versus white noise. That is totally true, my friend. I was not remembering it from the top of my head, but I heard that before, and yes, this is totally true. Thank you very much for pointing that out. This is the kind of stuff that I've learned probably 10 years ago, and I forget about it because honestly, I never use white noise. It's just too harsh for my ear, and I cannot stand it as long as I can stand pink noise. From Rolf, I heard about a trick to ring out a venue. Have headphone with you, headphone with your favorite song and put it on. And if the venue sounds like the headphone, you're good. Yeah, it's true. Well, I heard Dave Rat say that. I know Dave said something like that, but let me ask you something. What if your headphones are lying to you? What if your headphones are not good, don't sit well in your ear, and you don't hear low end? Are you going to push low end? So this is why I try to isolate only the spike in frequencies or the dip in frequencies and compensate for them most of the time. And I try to EQ as less as possible. I try to make the sources sound good, and I nowadays, especially with what we got for PA, line array and stuff like that, they have processing inside the box. They are already EQ to be with a pink noise flat frequencies most of the time. I'm not talking about your old JBL stuff. Sorry. If anybody working for a sound company here, I'm sorry. But you know, the old JBL stuff or the old homemade boxes, those were speaker in a wooden box. But now it's crazy when you think about it. Especially I'm gonna give an example that I know of. Nexo boxes that are made by Yamaha. The internal of the wooden box, the air is calculated, and they have port in there to correct the sound of the driver and the horn. So if you use a Nexo box with the Nexo amplifier, and you tell that amplifier that on the other end you have sorry, Arman, you have two PS15 Nexo box, the amplifier will also set the preset for the amplification and the EQ curve for that box. So from the factory, it's flat. So all you have to really take care of now is the room, the frequencies that are amplified by the room. I really feel like I pissed off somebody. Sorry. But yeah, let's just say that none of you or your friend were working around the company when those 4530s box, you know, the one with the 15-inch driver with a big curve in the bottom, probably saw that in a basement somewhere when those boxes or those subs were around in the 80s. You probably were not working there, and technology have improved since then. And Okay. I believe in the balance. I'm going to say that this way. One of my favorite PA to work with is the Vertec, the 15-inch version. It's two 15-inch GBL speaker with a single horn driver in the middle. It's one of my favorite PA to mix rock and roll on. There are some other options, but for rock and roll, you can make it sound really good if it's in shape, because some of those PAs are 20 years old now and start to have been rained on and not dried, stored enough that some of them are getting bad. You were not even alive in the 80s. How old are you, man? Because I was born in the 80s. Not much, but I was born in the 80s. But you were definitely not working, as I was not working there in the 90s. I started to work in the 2000s, so. Okay. 1981. Close. And Chris White. I just discovered that Chris White is old. Okay. Any other question or topic that you guys want to point out? If not, I'm gonna call it a day for now. We've been going at this for around an hour and a half. Good hour and a half. If you're, well, I know you guys are there. I'm watching you. Give this video a thumbs up. It's helping me. It will maybe help me one day to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can not really justify, but I can say that I made money out of YouTube. Is it still a dream in 2021 to be a YouTuber? Colin, thanks Cool for hanging out. Well, thank you for hanging out. I like to do those videos. I like to do these live stream on every Monday. Now I got to go shovel some stuff in my backyard, so 85, really? Oh, you're just 2 years older than me. It's fine. We're old. We're starting to get old, but yeah. Good. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you showing up. Like I said, even the old or the young one, everybody is welcome here. And I really mean that. Everybody is welcome here. As long as you don't act like a jerk, you're welcome. Nice community you got going on there. I tried to. I will try. Just a bunch of sound guy and wing lover hanging out together. I think we have some common points for sure. We all enjoy what we're doing sound wise, and I'm making a living out of this. So I'm gonna guess a lot of people here also make a living out of this. And yeah, we're living in different places in the world, but we're probably living all the same thing. Different level, different people around us. But if it could be a point where everybody, and I mean everybody, can get together here for, good. I'm happy with that. I hope I bring joy and good time to all of you guys. Anyway, that's enough of me being peaceful and good vibe and welcoming everybody, which I believe in, but enough. Time for me to go shovel some bricks from my patio to 20 feet further away. Anyway, I'm degrading again. I'm really good at that. I will wrap this video up by saying, if you're not like that video yet, why not? I just asked you a few seconds ago. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, well, now you know what we're doing here. Subscribe to the channel. It will help me, and it will help you get better content. Until the next one, and I seriously mean this, please take care of yourself, guys. It will be fun to see you again next week. Take care. I'm always missing that cue.